I mean, I hear all this stuff about Russia, all right? And it goes on and on and on. And I read the Observer every Sunday to see apparently my incredibly close links with all of Russia. And maybe I drank a vodka once or something. I've no idea. But Lembit, what I'm not seeing is an open, honest debate about George Soros's open society. And I'm trying to give us a bit more of a balanced conversation.
But there's all kinds of, well, I admire and wouldn't for a moment question your willingness and your eagerness to do that about Mr. Soros. I put it to you, there are two slight ironies in this. First of all, I'm in Glastonbury. I work with a motorcycling magazine here, but it couldn't be more British. This is Avalon, where I am, Nigel, probably less than a mile from the port. So I'm surrounded by people who probably did support, in massive majority, a Brexit. But the second point here's the big one, and I'm really going to ask you a question, but you can always throw it back at me. Is it really right or wrong that people like Soros have such influence, or indeed the Russians? You know as well as I do that you like a French Merlot, you like travelling around. You're in Strasbourg now, for crying out loud. What is wrong with people like Soros defending his economic interest in a way which is good for him? And then the big question, what is wrong with everybody in the rest of the European Union carrying on doing that after the Brexit, and therefore leading us to a situation, Nigel, which is no different to now? Economic union by any different name, and freedom of movement.
You know,
that's the problem.
You know, well, clearly freedom of movement is not wanted. We voted against it in Brexit. It's perfectly clear that Hungary, Poland, the Czech Republic, Slovakia are completely opposed to freedom of movement in its current form. But your big substantive point, what is wrong with billionaire George Soros using his money to lobby and campaign for his view of the world? Do you know what my answer to that is? Absolutely nothing. But it needs to be open. Clear and transparent, Lembit. That's all I'm saying.
You only say that because it could be argued, Nigel Farage, that you were instrumental in creating the glorious victory of Donald Trump in America. You were meddling around there. But
well, look, okay, all right, I meddled there. Obama meddled here. The Americans have meddled in elections, virtually every single one in the Western world since 1945, and I've no doubt we'll find out that the Chinese are influencing people. I don't mind big money being used to try and push opinions, but I do think, Lembit, there is a problem with
Nigel, you've got to let it go. This obsession with taking down Theresa May. It's a fair point. There's nobody decent enough to replace her. Give this woman a break. She is handling a very difficult time in the country's history. She's a very calm, very wise, intelligent woman. People are up in arms because she coughed once or twice at a conference, some letters fell off the wall, and she had to apologize for winning an election. She won that election fair and square, by the way. The media is in total hysteria. They've been in hysteria.
Well, did you listen, Ben?
Saying she couldn't do
Ben,
it.
did you listen to her interview? Did you listen to her interview with Ian Dale a few weeks back?
Which one? What was saying what?
When Ian interviewed her, and he said to her, if the referendum was held now, how would you vote? And she plain blank refused to answer.
Nigel, don't panic, mate. Don't panic. You won the referendum, all right? The Brexit's going to go through, all right? Theresa May.
Is it?
Understand.
Well, it will of a kind.
Okay, look.
It will of a kind, Ben. It will of a kind. But why is she giving us transition periods that will undoubtedly last to the next election? That's not what we voted for, is it?
Nigel, don't panic. It'll get done. Just relax. Don't let the media...
Don't panic.
A calm man like you, a wise man like you, has got to stop panicking. And you're reading too much and you're getting too caught up in the media, Nigel. Just relax.
I think, Ben, I'll tell you what I think, Ben. Ben, if she stays as Prime Minister, whilst we will leave the European Union in name at the end of March 2019, we will, through the transition period that she's proposing, which she says will last for around 2 years, which takes us up to the next election, we will effectively be members of the European Union, just with an even worse deal than we've got now. And then you could get a Corbyn Labour government that keep us in the single market and keep free movement of people and keep the contributions. And that is the great risk to Brexit that Theresa May poses.
Look, Nigel, I kind of understand your concern, but you've got to relax. She'll get the job done. The people have voted, okay? These politicians, they're not stupid. Even the liberal lefties, people like Liz Kendall, people like that, even they don't want to go against the vote of the Brexit. They're frightened of going against that, okay? It's gone through. When she stood in front of the cameras, she said, you voted for the Brexit, I'll do the Brexit. Whether she would have voted for it or not doesn't matter anymore. She says, I'll do what the people want, Nigel. She's going to do what the people want. It's media hysteria that's trying to bring her down.
I don't think, Ben, I don't think...
She's good. She's fine.
I don't think you can turn around... I don't think you can turn around the ship of state and get it pointing 180 degrees in a different direction to where it's been for the last 4 to 5 decades, unless you believe in what you're doing. One last quick question, Ben, for you. Do you think she's the best leader right now of the Conservative Party?
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. This woman is just the right person for this job right now. She's got the calmness, she's got the astuteness, she's got the values, she's a strong Christian woman, and you need that leading the country, by the way. People don't want to hear that, but you do. She's got her head screwed on, and she cares about people enough. But
she's not paying you, Ben, is she?
She's not reading Twitter like, you know, Andrea Leadsom or whatever. She's not reading Twitter every 20 minutes, panicking whether people like her or not. She just quietly gets...
Ben, reassure me. Reassure me you're not on the payroll.
I've already reassured you. I'm just a common sense, straight thinking person, Nigel.
From time to time, I've been bringing you some business updates. A Brexit business briefing. And here goes for some updated financial news. The FTSE 100 index hit a record high at the close of last week, scaling heights at just over 7,560 points. Even the BBC had to report last week that UK manufacturing growth continues to improve. The Purchasing Managers Index, prepared by IHS Markit, shows 15 consecutive months of expansion and supports the view of their senior economist that UK manufacturing made an impressive start to the final quarter of 2017. Indeed, industrial production was up 1% in the third quarter, according to ONS estimates. And the United Kingdom has just become China's 8th largest economic partner in the world, according to the CBI. By completing £55 billion of the trade last year with China, we are now second only to Germany in terms of the volume of business that we do amongst EU members. And Silicon Valley has more than doubled its UK investments in tech startups, rising from £342 million in 2016 to £885 million in the first 3 quarters of 2017. And JP Morgan has downgraded the number of staff expected in Paris from 4,000 to just 1,000. And similarly, UBS said its target is to keep as many jobs in London as it can, reducing the number it anticipates in Paris from 1,000 down to a mere 250. And the acceleration of GDP growth from 0.3% in the second quarter to 0.4% in the third. And with unemployment rates now at a 42-year low, we saw the Bank of England returning interest rates to the level they were before the referendum. Ends. There's plenty of good news out there. It isn't all misery. We're doing absolutely fine. And if we sort Brexit out, we'll be doing.
So these are all poppy type things with Jewish. Let's have a look.
Muslim. Hindu.
That's Hindu.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know what that one is. We think it might be another Muslim one. And we have the atheist one. That's the atheist one.
Okay, that's an atheist one. Now, as you just seen, they've all got poppies on them. Okay.
Except that one.
Except the Muslim one. The Muslim one.
We don't know that it is a Muslim one. Some people think it might.
That is a Muslim one. I mean, you can tell that's a Muslim one.
We've asked the Muslim person. He said it's not Muslim.
That's the half crescent moon.
Yeah,
so, why has the Muslim one not got a poppy on it?
They came without them. They just came without.
The Muslim one came without a poppy on.
Yeah, we don't know why.
Okay, that lady a moment ago said the Muslims don't have poppies.
Well,
they just have the wood.
Yeah, they probably purity.
Purity?
Yeah, it's non-contaminated.
So having a poppy on it would contaminate it?
Possibly. I don't know. Don't know.
But they're sent to you like that. The Muslim one hasn't got a poppy in it. That's how they're sent to you.
It's been like that for years.
And it's been like that for years?
Yeah.
You
No.
think that's a bit bizarre?
No, it doesn't bother me at all.
It doesn't bother you?
No. Because they then often will buy a poppy separately. Well, we had a Muslim here this morning, and he bought 3 poppies and the pins.
Okay. Well, just it's just a bit confusing why, out of all those religious items, the Muslim one didn't have a poppy on.
Yeah,
And
they are very careful about contaminating their faith.
they're worried about contaminating their faith
Yeah.
with a poppy.
It's
Okay.
not, well, don't put flowers on anything.
Okay.
If you think those things, you are not allowed to replicate any living thing in a Muslim faith.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Well, there you can see. I'm in West Favell Shopping Centre in Northampton, and you're right there.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't be videoing in the site without permission from centre management.
Oh, really?
That's
Okay.
that comes
All
from
right.
centre management.
Well, there you go. The job's worth have jumped on me. There you go.
So I'm going to have to leave the centre now.
Yeah, I will leave the centre, sir. Just leave me alone. I'm going to leave the centre now. I'm going to end this video before I get thrown out. As you can see there, that was a poppy store in the middle of West Favell Shopping Centre in Northampton. I'm being pursued now by the